to 504 Road Trips. Today we'll be taking a walk up New Orleans Main Street, Canal Street, and catching a glimpse of some of the famous and historic buildings along the way, including some hidden remnants of landmarks that no longer exist or have been repurposed. We begin with a shot of Jackson Square and the St. Louis Cathedral from the Algiers to Canal Street ferry, with some river traffic passing by. This is the foot of Canal Street, and this is the Canal Street ferry landing, which was supposed to have been demolished several months ago, and yet it still stands. In front of us is the ITM building, or the World Trade Center. That's supposed to be converted into a Four Seasons hotel, and doesn't look like anything's being done with that either. We covered this in a video a few months back. And directly across the street is Harrah Casino, which is where the original New Orleans Convention Center called the Rivergate once stood. Looking over this way is the Westin Hotel and Canal Place Mall. This is a shot straight up Canal Street. So right here in front of Harrah's Casino, we see an embedded marking in the sidewalk that says Convention Center Boulevard. This is a modern street name. The older ones are done with ceramic tiles. This is done somewhat more recently. This is an across the street view of Canal Place Mall, and it's not really even obviously a mall except for the fact that there's Saks Fifth Avenue, which is visible from the Canal Street side. And over here we have a Morton's Steakhouse, which I believe is on the second floor. You go through those doors and you have to take an elevator to get up to the steakhouse. Slightly different view of Canal Place Mall, and you can see Brooks Brothers and Jack Sutton fine jewelry and something that actually says Canal Place up there. Here's something rarely seen in New Orleans, and it's not really obeyed all that much. This is the first time I've ever seen this, though. This building across the street here is the old United States Custom House, which is now the home of the Audubon Insectarium. This building here, called the Sandlin Building, is between Tchoupitoulas and Magazine, I believe, and it's been often called the Watch Band Building because it looks like one of those old stretchy watch bands from the 60s. This building hasn't changed much in the past 50 years. Looks like there's some renovations going on over there on the corner of Magazine. One of the red Canal Street streetcars. That's a replica of the old New Orleans streetcars. Those are the ones that run up and down Canal Street. And this row of buildings here is pretty original. And right over there where the Palace Cafe is was once Whirlines for Music. And that sign up on the roof that says Palace Cafe once advertised Whirlines. They were a music store where you could buy sheet music, or you could go buy a piano or organ, all kinds of different musical instruments. That's long gone now. This is an old sign here. Either that or it's a replica of an old sign, but it says Industrial Enameling, New Orleans. Here at the corner canal of St. Charles is Rubenstein Brothers Men's Clothing and Shoes. This has been here since the 1920s. This ancient neon sign for the Pearl Oyster Bar on St. Charles Avenue has been here for probably 75 years and was installed by Industrial Electric Incorporated. The Pearl is no more. Across the street from the Pearl is Meyer the Hatter, which appears to have a new name now, Bailey Kangle, the South's largest hat store. But that Meyer the Hatter sign dates back many, many years. Here in the 700 block of Canal, at the old Adler's Jewelers, the clock still runs and says Adler's time is 11:03 a.m. And that to the left there is Adler's Jewelers. This is the 800 block of Canal. It's one boarded up building right in the middle of the block. You don't see that too often on Canal Street anymore. And in the bottom of it, it's New York Fashions. And they appear to be open. Here on Baronne Street is the famous Roosevelt Hotel, which was called the Fairmont for many years, and now it's been bought out by Waldorf Astoria, which is part of Hilton, and now it's called the Roosevelt again. Across the street here is the old S.H. Crescent Company 5, 10, and 25-cent store, which is now home of the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. Roosevelt Hotel on the Roosevelt Way side, which used to be called University Place. This is a very old car. Old Mercury. And right across the street is an old sign for the Piccadilly Lounge, most of which is still intact, and an oyster bar called the Half Shell. Here at 1012 Canal, engraved in the stone or concrete above the former entrance, it says two-lane shop, and this building appears to be under renovation. It might have had a fire.
Jesus, it's a fire.
And the building next door is just a facade. There's nothing behind it. If I can reach. Over there on that corner is the Sanger Theater, which is still an operational theater. New construction going up right here on the corner. It's the corner of North Rampart and Canal. This building over here used to be the Lowe's State Theater and then the State Palace Theater, which appears to be completely shut down now. This is on the short block between South Rampart and Elk Place. And this is directly across the street from the Sanger Theater, which we can't get a good view of because of the bus stop over there. We'll take a closer look in a minute. On that corner over there was Krause's department store. So I'm not really sure what they use that for now, but it's got space available. I'm sure the rent's really high. Also at one time on top of the Sanger Theater was the Hotel LaSalle. That's been closed since Hurricane Katrina. Over here in the corner of Elk Place is the Joy Theater. That was once a single screen movie theater, and I think it's just used for live shows now. So here up the side of the Sanger Theater, apparently something called Waiters is playing from June 12th to the 17th. But when we look at the marquee on the front, it's spelled waitress. This is the old entrance to the Hotel LaSalle, which used to be on top of the Sanger Theater. And apparently now it's the LaSalle Apartments. This is a shot into the vestibule in front of the Sanger. This is a better shot of that burned out building from further away, and you can see right through it. Ruby Slipper Cafe apparently is a popular place. They're calling for reservations. A lot of people waiting to get breakfast at the Ruby Slipper, or I guess maybe lunch, since it's almost noon now. It's on the corner of Burgundy and Canal. It's a closer shot of the S.H. Crest facade on the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. And then right next door is the Saint Hotel. Not 100% sure what this building was. You can see some detail in the ceiling there. It's that pressed tin ceiling. This building here, called the Gallery at 901 Canal, was once the Maison Blanche department store. And you can still see the MB in the details of the building. This building here, which was once the D.H. Holmes department store, is now a Hyatt hotel. But there's a familiar character who still stands in front of the old D.H. Holmes under the clock. In the shadow under the green visor of the cap, Ignatius J. Riley's supercilious blue and yellow eyes looked down upon the other people waiting under the clock at the D.H. Holmes department store, studying the crowd of people for signs of bad taste in dress. That's from A Confederacy of Dunces by John Kennedy Toole. It's the 600 block of Canal looking uptown between Charters and Royal. Here we have a closer view of the Canal Place Mall, Tiffany and Company. Final thing at the foot of Canal Street is the Aquarium of the Americas, which also has the Entergy giant screen theater. It used to be an IMAX, but I guess they don't have the IMAX rights anymore, so they don't call it IMAX anymore. But anyway, this concludes our video. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, share. Follow us on social media, and join us for our next 504 road trip.